Hey guys, in this video I'll be showing you how to create a cross-platform capable web app on Azure. So we'll be making an app which you can install on mobile devices, which you can run in the browser, and which is all built from the same code base. So in this example I'll be using Vue3 to create this app, and I'll deploy it using Azure Static Web Apps. Let's get started. So first we're going to create the app using Vue create. It's a CLI command. If you don't have the CLI installed, check the blog post, which is linked in the comments. There you can find a link where you can download the CLI tool. We're going to manually select features, and then we'll select progressive web app support because that's what we need. I'll be using Vue3, Vue2 is fine as well. Vue3 has better TypeScript support. I suggest using that if possible. So this is going to take a while. It's going to take a while to create the project. Meanwhile, I think we can create a repository. Just going to give it a name for now. And we'll add all of the project files into the repository. So the reason we need this GitHub repository is because Azure Static Web App uses the repository to build and deploy the website. So let's see what we've got here. So Vue has just finished creating the project. And as you can see, we have this browser app working. So we're going to add all these files to the repository. And then we're going to create a static web app. So through the Azure portal, you select static web app. I'm going to give it a name again. I'm going to add it to West Europe. And you have to link your GitHub account. After selecting your GitHub repository, you can select a build preset. And that build preset is used by Azure Static Web Apps to build and deploy your project. So we'll obviously go for the Vue preset. And for app location, you will select the location in which your package.json file is located. So in my example, that is just the root of the project, and that's what I'll provide as a parameter to application. Now, if you go back to the repository, we can actually see that Azure Static Web Apps has created a GitHub action for us, and it uses this GitHub action to deploy our project to Azure. So that's really a very user-friendly way to get started with CI/CD as quickly as possible. So I'm just going to skip this part because it will take a few minutes to build. So our GitHub action has finished building. So when we go to the URL, which we can find in the Azure portal near our static web app, so you can click the browse button or click the URL there. There you can see that the app that we had hosted locally is now actually available through the URL. And we'll provide this URL to pwabuilder.com, which is a tool Microsoft built with which you can deploy mobile web apps to various Play stores. So let's try to build an Android app first. So I'm just going to give it a name, and I'll download the zip file. So this is taking a while today. So let me just show you quickly what's in this package. Whole bunch of files. Most importantly for us are the asset links.json. There's a README, so in case if you want to do it yourself, you can just use the README to walk through the steps. But most importantly, we're going to use the asset links.json file and the .aab file. And this asset links file basically proves that we, the owner of the website, are also deploying a mobile app into the Play Store. So this prevents other people from making apps using your website because they cannot upload the asset links file. So now we're in the Google console and we're gonna make an app. First of all, we're gonna add some testers. So in this case, I already made a list. Now we're gonna have to make a release. So I'm doing an internal testing release so I can select the people who can actually download it. So it's not actually in the public Play Store yet. You'll need a link to download it. So we're gonna upload the .aab file, which contains our app. Seems like everything's done. I'm gonna save it. And I'm gonna check the release. Oh, there's still one mistake. We need to inform Google that this is not a COVID-19 testing app for some reason. So all the way to the bottom here, there's a menu, and then somewhere here, yeah, there's a button. There we can notify Google that this is not a COVID-19 app. Now let's try that again. Yes, I think we can do it now. And in the tester tab, we can copy the link. I'm going to send the link to my mobile device. And this is what I see when I open the link. So I can download the app on Google Play. That's the name we gave it. Now let's click open. And there you have it, the same app that we made, which is hosted on Azure Static Web App. But there's still a browser bar on top, right? And the way to remove this browser bar is to use this key and to update our assetlinks.json file. Just going to open it using Notepad. And you're going to have to replace the SHA-256 fingerprints using the new ones which you can find in the Play console. Then, because everything is properly set up and we have a CI/CD pipeline, I can just add the changes here, commit and push them. Again, I have to pull first. Yeah, so because Static Web App created a GitHub action for us to automatically deploy changes, I can just git push and all the changes I made are reflected automatically. So as you can see now, there's no more browser bar because we updated the assetlinks.json file. But we can also, for instance, change the title. Let's call it Welcome to your PWA Static Web App. Yeah, so there it is on localhost, but of course it's not yet changed on the web version of it. So what we can just do is, git add everything, commit and push it. And after a few minutes, these changes will be reflected online in the website, but also in the app. So as you can see, our app no longer says welcome to your Vue app, but it now says welcome to your PWA Static Web App. So we've made a Vue3 app, deployed it to Azure Static Web App, and then we used pwabuilder.com to download an Android package and deploy it to the Play Store. pwabuilder.com is also working on a package for iOS, so then you'll be able to deploy it to the Apple App Store as well. And you can also access this app through the browser, of course. So I personally really love this technology. You can use a single code base to deploy an app to multiple platforms. And yeah, there's really there's a lot of developer velocity you can achieve using this, because you don't have to build 3 separate apps. For instance, you don't have to build a separate Android or iOS or a web app. You can just build a single code base and use PWA to deploy it to the Play Stores just once, and from then on you can use a single CI/CD pipeline to update all the 3 apps or all the 3 platforms, so Android, iOS, and web, at the same time. So for a lazy developer like myself, yeah, this is just an awesome way of creating mobile apps. So I hope you've all learned something. Let me know what you think in the comments.